Alright, imagine this. You ever felt that prickle on the back of your neck? Like something's watching you? But when you turn around, there's nothing there? Now, imagine that feeling stretching out over 3 long, agonizing days, deep in the unforgiving heart of the Louisiana swamp. That's exactly what happened to a guy named Liam. Liam, he was one of those folks who believed the cure for a chaotic mind was absolute solitude. He packed his bag, a sturdy, well-worn thing, and set out for a logging trail so old the swamp had all but swallowed it whole. 3 days, that was the plan. Just him, the quiet, and the endless green. He craved the silence, you see. He just didn't realize how loud silence could truly get. The morning of day 1, it was perfect. The air was thick and sweet with the smell of cypress and damp earth. All he could hear was the gentle rustle of unseen critters and the steady thud-thud of his own boots on the leaf-strewn ground. He felt good, felt free, but as the sun started to dip, painting the sky in these sort of bruised purplish hues, a strange thing happened. The usual symphony of the swamp, the chirping crickets, the croaking frogs, it just stopped. Now, if you've ever been out in the wild, you know that sound is a constant. So when it vanished, it left behind this heavy, suffocating silence. It pressed in on him physically like a weight. He told himself it was just the isolation playing tricks, but a shiver, cold as a tombstone, snaked its way down his spine. He built a fire, a small flickering thing, and its light cast these long dancing shadows that seemed to stretch and contort just beyond the fire's reach. Every snap of a wig, every rustle in the dense undergrowth made him jump, his eyes darting into the inky blackness. He even tried to read, for crying out loud, but his gaze kept being pulled to the darkness, like something was pulling on his very attention. When sleep finally came, it was shallow and tormented, haunted by the undeniable, chilling sensation that he was being watched. Every single minute. Liam woke up with his jaw aching, sore from clenching it all night. The unsettling silence from the night before hadn't lifted. If anything, it felt even heavier. A tangible presence in the humid air. He forced himself to pack up, his unease growing into a cold, hard knot in his stomach. As he hiked, he started noticing things. Broken branches, snapped cleanly, their edges still sharp, even though there hadn't been any storms. And then there were the prints in the soft earth. Too big for a deer, too indistinct to be anything he recognized. Just large, vague depressions. He picked up his pace, his senses on absolute high alert. That feeling of being pursued, it was no longer a prickle. It was a constant chilling pressure on the back of his neck. He started imagining it, heavy, deliberate footsteps just out of earshot, the rustle of something massive, something unnatural, moving through the thick foliage, keeping pace with him. Around midday, he stopped for a quick bite, though his appetite had vanished. As he sat there, a guttural, wet thump echoed from deep within the trees, a sound of heavy impact. It was followed by a series of low chittering noises that crawled into his very bones, sending a wave of absolute dread washing over him. He abandoned his food, pushed himself harder than he thought possible, desperate to put miles between himself and whatever horror was out there. He didn't stop until the sun was practically gone, his muscles screaming in protest. His new campsite wasn't chosen. It was where exhaustion finally made him collapse. He built a much bigger fire this time, a desperate flickering beacon against the encroaching terror. But even then, his eyes kept darting over his shoulder, convinced he saw subtle movements in the inky blackness just beyond the fire's fragile light.